beautification aspect of it. I mean, the trees and the plants and the flowering that's going to take place during the various seasons. And they have been, I know a little bit about plants, I guess, but they have been set up so that seasonally we're going to see this change in the various flora along the roadway. I bet that was a woman that decided on that.
I'm not going to comment on that. More than likely. But basically what, we've got an arborist with the town, and he worked with the county very closely. And Stephen and Whitesides was the architect, I think, that did that. And they all worked together to plan that. And there was definitely a female working with Stephen Whitesides involved.
Well, you know, I know men can do those things too. But it really added a special touch.
Oh, it does.
To all of the project areas.
And one of the concerns from the public has been maintenance. Well, actually what they did is they went in and tried to select low maintenance plantings. And, you know, the irrigation's there to keep them irrigated, to keep the plants growing. The town will be maintaining that area. So it'll remain beautiful all the time.
I'm glad you brought up maintenance, because there's a question in my mind right now about how do we maintain all of this work that we've done. I mean, there's going to be dollars in the future that have to be provided so that we can address any kinds of changes. Things don't last forever.
Correct.
Are we prepared for that?
Yes. You know, during the planning stage and everything, we knew that we were going to have maintenance for these areas, and all that was taken into consideration. So that, you know, our finance department has worked very diligently on finding those funds and getting it set up. And we have a great public service department that does a fantastic job for our citizens.
Do you know if the federal government was involved in any of this?
No.
Or was it just the state of South Carolina, the county, and the town?
I think it was that, and I know for Johnny Dodd it was that. Now, there were some federal funds available for the 17 widening. Right.
So where do you go from here?
Where do we go from here? That's been the big question we've been asking everything. And the next project that we're looking at, the next major project, will be Coleman Boulevard. And we're actually getting started on that this week. We're going to do a portion from, it's called Fairmont Avenue over to Farrago. And in that area, that's where the boulevard's being built. We're going to have a median installed. They're going to put in bike lanes. And eventually we're going to revitalize Coleman Boulevard from Shim Creek all the way to Chuck Dolly. And at Chuck Dolly, in front of the Royal Hardware, there will be a roundabout.
Well, that's going to be nice. And Mount Pleasant enjoys roundabouts no matter what. There are lots of roundabouts. We're going to talk about those possibly, but we have some other things we want to discuss. We'll be right back.
Hey, Charleston County, let's recycle. Charleston County makes it easy. Recycling glass, aluminum cans, steel and aerosol cans, plastics 1 to 7. We recycle them all. And don't forget paper. If it tears, recycle it. Even cardboard. Recycle at work, at home, and at play. So whether you're using the 2 curbside bin system and separating, or the all-in-one roll cart system, keep recycling. Brought to you by Charleston County Environmental Management.
Welcome back to our program, Transportation Sales Tax and Roadwise. We're in the town of Mount Pleasant right now, and I'm talking with Ed Barbee, and he is the Transportation Construction Liaison for the community, and that involves making sure that our council members, our town council members, and all the rest know exactly what's going on. And he keeps them informed, and I'm sure they appreciate that. Before we went to the break, we were talking about roundabouts, and I thought that roundabouts were obsolete. I remember living in Spartanburg one time with this huge roundabout. It was right off of I-85, I think it was, and it was said that they were just out of date, but not in Mount Pleasant, because we have quite a few, and I think they're kind of neat, especially when you plant them and make them look good and pretty.
And, you know, that's one thing I could say of praise for Mount Pleasant and for the area in total. I think they're becoming more astute to making things more attractive. And, you know, that's more pleasing to the public and pleasing to the eye, and I like that. Roundabouts are excellent ways of moving traffic, especially through intersections, and they're actually safer than using the stop signs. And if you do have an accident, it's normally a side, kind of a glancing blow rather than a
That's right.
than a
Oncoming.
T-bone. And to me, they're safer. The public has to become aware of how to drive in them, and it takes a little bit of education of that. We do have things on the website that will show that, you know, how to move through the intersection. As we mentioned before, when we're doing Coleman Boulevard, we are going to have a roundabout. It's going to be in the vicinity, right, basically in front of Royal Hardware on Coleman Boulevard.
Okay.
And it will be a larger roundabout than we've had in the past. It'll be a 2-lane roundabout. And a lot of people think they're going to get stuck in the middle and keep going around and around and around, but you know, it does give you an opportunity to go around it if you make a mistake and go back the opposite direction. So,
but it's not a merry-go-round.
It's not a merry-go-round. And I think it's a great design. We do have things available for the public to come see on that. That's also at the old CVS pharmacy right off of Highway 17 and I-526 or Hungry Neck Boulevard.
I did have a question about when you mentioned pharmacy, I thought about it. The pharmacy off of 17 that was there, that was being reused, it was already purchased, I believe, by the town. But it had people there who were able to answer questions and give directions and let the public know what was going on with these projects. Is that still there, and do you expect it to remain?
It's still there. It will be there through the end of June. And the public is welcome to stop in at any time. That's where my office is located. I'm normally there, and if they want to give me a telephone call, my telephone number, I'll give it out. It's 640-2422. That's my cell number. If I don't answer, leave a message. I will get back in touch with you. And I can meet you there at any time, you know, at your convenience.
The public is concerned these days about the economy. And not just the public, I think all of us are. Right. And I don't want to make that appear as if Mount Pleasant Council is not concerned. Certainly we all are. Is that in any way, or what we hear about joblessness and other types of issues that are going on with the federal government, is that affecting Mount Pleasant in any way in terms of making and continuing to make improvements in the infrastructure?
You know, it's kind of a difficult question, to be honest with you, but I do think, you know, we do have projects that we're funding, projects that are being looked at in the future. We're continuously at all times looking for federal funds, grants, different ways that we can generate revenue to build these roads, because it is necessary. We've got to do alternate routes. That's the reason Hungry Neck Boulevard was built to parallel 17. And we'd like to actually extend it all the way to Porsche Bluff one day. And that would alleviate a lot of the traffic. I think it has now, and once I-526 is completed, you'll be able to come in I-526 and go to Isle of Palms without ever having to get on Highway 17.
And as the federal government, I try to keep up with these things,
Right.
but they talk about dollars coming down to communities for infrastructure. And certainly South Carolina has been the recipient, and perhaps in the future it will continue to be the recipient of those dollars. Is that a good thing?
I think that's a good thing, and I think that, you know, that everybody's talking about budget cuts here and there, and the federal government needs to downsize and cut back. But, you know, when these federal funds become available, there's a lot of competition for them. The town of Mount Pleasant has people that are aggressive in seeking out those funds, and I think that our citizens are benefit from that.
It's better than raising local taxes.
That's for sure.
I'll tell you that. Thank you very much, Ed Barbee, for being a great guest on our program. You've told us a lot, and certainly I've learned a lot about what's going on in Mount Pleasant and how the county and a town work together along with the state of South Carolina in taking those dollars and spreading them around and sharing those dollars in such a way as we have a beautiful, beautiful community like Mount Pleasant. Well, until the next time, I'll see you on Transportation Sales Tax, sometimes known as Roadwise. Until then, Cheryl Harleston, goodbye. For more information, visit us on tst.charlestoncounty.org. You can also follow us on Facebook and Twitter.